Hey there, welcome back, my friends. This is Adriana at the Daily. Really great to be back here with you in our final day together of courage. Hopefully, it is not literally your final day of practicing courage. It is a quality we will all probably need for our lifetime going forward, but it is our final day in this theme of the month of courage, aka will or volition that springs from the heart, the sense of really being able to kind of muster a sense of agency that may even feel bigger than ourselves, that comes from our heart space, comes from kind of the sweetest part of being a human being. So for today's practice, I am going to keep it really spacious. In our first practice in this theme of the month, I encouraged us to really rest with this sense of courage, even just the word courage, and really kind of taking some time to explore our own relationship to what courage is, what courage means, noticing where the mind goes when we put courage on the table, maybe some kind of free association, or if you're anything like me, maybe all of the ways in which you haven't been courageous kind of pop up at the notion of being courageous. So we're going to do a really similar practice today. I'm just going to leave it really open for you to kind of contemplate this sense of courage, this kind of relationship that maybe you have to even the notion of courage. Because as I very frequently say at the end of the day, sitting here on the meditation seat, I can say a million different things to you because I like to hear myself talk. But whatever you come up with on the meditation cushion is going to be so much more informative than really anything that I can say here. So I'm going to leave a lot of space just to contemplate courage. And whatever comes up for us, of course, as is kind of the golden rule of meditation, knowing that there's no wrong answers here. We can't do it wrong, right? We're just leaving a lot of space for ourselves to maybe even notice what springs to mind with courage. So wherever you happen to be, as always, taking a moment to decide on your seat. And it's finding a seat that feels really sturdy, stable. And once we've landed, maybe just taking a moment to mentally commit that yes, indeed, this is where we will be. It's giving our bodies a quick once over. And then taking a moment to decide on our gaze. Eyes open, eyes closed, whatever feels honest today. And we'll take just a few moments here, as always, to open our practice by opening our senses, and shifting the attention over to sound. Just inviting sound to be a part of our practice today. Not as an obstacle, but just another element that reminds us where we are, what we're doing. And staying open to sound, shifting the attention to touch. So really dropping our attention into our bodies here. Feeling that light pressure where the body makes contact against the chair, the floor. Feeling where the body meets the body itself. Taking in the texture of clothing on our skin. Temperature of the air in the room. Dropping into our feet. Just taking a moment to feel our feet here. They do so much for us, very rarely witnessed. It's taking in the texture, the temperature, feeling where the feet make contact. Tracing our attention along the shin bones. Circling the kneecaps. Grazing through the thighs. And landing in the hips. Moving the attention to the tailbone, sacrum, base of the spine. It's beginning a slow, deliberate climb across the lower back, middle back, upper back, just a light extension at the crown of the head. Tracing the attention across the slope of the forehead, space between the eyebrows. Maybe just releasing any tension that may have collected here. Softening behind the eyes. Grazing down the bridge of the nose, through the cheekbones, relaxing into the jaw. Maybe releasing any clenching that might be happening here. Dropping into the belly, the chest, barrel of the front body. Taking a moment here, just feeling into the sensation of breath in the body. Just giving our breath the grace of our undivided attention. Feeling into its cadence, its depth, the way that it moves by its own volition today. Just continuing to ride the cycle of breath as it moves through the body. And we'll continue in using that singular instruction that as our minds wander, which they naturally will, we're just noticing when we've left our breathing, acknowledging what captures our attention, and gently, firmly back to the breath in the body. So in these first few minutes of practice here, really just getting that initial hit of our interior flavor, maybe our interior speed. And of course, if we find ourselves drifting out, no big deal. Just a light touch of attention on where we've landed, a bit of recognition. and feeling the body breathe. So that continual release and return back to the body, back to the breath. It's the name of the game here. And then if we haven't already, maybe just letting our eyes gently shut and shifting our practice over to a bit of contemplation. It's working with this word, courage. Courage. Perhaps just rolling it around in our minds a couple of times. Getting a sense of its tone, its texture. Maybe if there's a particular way that this word makes us feel. Courage. And if so, it's noticing where that feeling is located in the body. And we'll continue to use this word as our anchor, our home base, so to speak. So just continuing to come back to it, noticing what it drums up for us, if anything. Thoughts, feelings, memories. And then when we find ourselves lost in narrative, coming back for a bit of a reset, just landing back in the word itself, courage. So again, we don't have to turn this into a mental exercise. There's nothing here to figure out or solve. We're just staying watchful of where our mind goes when given this prompt. Courage. Noticing what arises, noticing where we land, And again, when we find ourselves really just out at sea, maybe we've lost the thread entirely. No big deal. Just acknowledging where we've landed and coming back. Courage. Courage. And staying watchful of what arises. And then just beginning to shift the contemplation slightly by asking ourselves directly, what in my life could benefit from a bit of courage right now? What in my life could benefit from a bit of courage right now? And again, if we find ourselves lost in our problems, lost in what is fearful right now, just taking note and continuing to return. What in my life could benefit from a bit of courage right now? And just noting what arises. And then in our final few moments of practice together, it's taking a moment to touch back in on our intention, our motivation, the reason why we practice today. Why yes, why show up? And then closing out with a bit of sweetness, maybe a bit of thanks for having the courage to continue to show up on the meditation cushion and meet yourself right where you're at, wherever that happens to be. It's giving ourselves a little bit of love for that, a little credit. And then as you're ready, letting formal practice drop and coming back in together at your own pace, no rush. Great. Thank you. Thank you, friend. Thank you for practice. Thank you for this wonderful month of courage. I am very excited to be back here with you tomorrow, August 1st, brand new month, brand new theme. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, however long that day may be. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.